We talked about this off camera, and I want to bring this up because this is what makes or breaks a lot of coaches. My first year, I was all about seeing how many kids I could recruit in the hallway to get on the team. I think when I took over, we may have had 19, 21 kids left at a 5A school. We got to 82.
Yep.
We've taken 3 buses. Now, Chad, at what point is it about building 100 kids to play versus finding the right 25? Give me your thoughts on it, because I think people know they don't care about what I think. I'm a has-been. But I want to know a man that's in the arena right now.
I love the question because I literally just told my guys. I told you what our goal was, and then we'll talk about that later on if we get there. But
we'll be there.
I told my guys today, I don't want 55 kids that don't want to be here. I don't want 21 kids that are going to be here and 55 kids or 32 kids that don't want to be here. I want all 55 of you here, or I want the ones that don't want to be here. I want you to go home. And if you had said to me when I took the job, Coach, I'm okay with playing with 30 kids, or I'm okay with having 27 kids, I would have said you're crazy. We can't do it. I still believe to build a program, you have to have a JV, at least a JV level team. You have to build a program because kids don't want to come out there and get beat up every day and not get anything. But when I said that to my guys today, I mean it. And we talked about this. Tim Madley, who I was fortunate to coach with, he looked at me after we won the first region championship in school history, and we go play male high school, who goes on and wins the state finals. When the season was over, he looked at me and said, and I won't say the kid's name, but he said, I will never do that again. And that kid was talented. And I thought, Coach, why would you not do everything you could to keep him around? Because in my first 2 years, what I realized, and to get your question is, you can have little bobbies who don't want to be there, or you have to chase them, but what's happening is you're spending so much effort on little bobbies who don't want to be there and don't want to buy into what you're doing, that the ones that want to buy in don't get your attention. Mm-hmm. And I was gonna be 3-7 my first year, or 2-8 my second year here, with or without the guys I was chasing that didn't need to be there. So to answer your question, I want to have 65. I want to set it because I'm a lover of football, and I think football is I think there's nothing more that compares to life than football. Mm-hmm. Period. I don't care. You can't. We can debate it. You can
first down and life.
You can tell me basketball. No, it's not true. I tell my kids this all the time. You walk into McDonald's and you hear old guys sitting around the table talking about 2 things. It's either Vietnam War, which you build brotherhoods in, or it's playing football in high school. Mm-hmm. Okay? They don't make movies. They make very few movies about baseball and basketball and soccer and all this stuff. They make a lot of movies about football because you can relate to life of football. So to answer your question, yes, I want everybody to love football, but that's not the way the world is. And I'm okay in my coaching days right now that if only 27 kids can do what I ask them to do, then that's all we need to have on our team. Mm-hmm. Because it's only fair to you that's going to play for me if you look at him and he wants the same thing you want.
Do you think it's different if you're at a 2A level, 3A level versus a 6A level? I mean, or is it, or if you were coaching at a 6A school?
It's false advertisement. It's what I mean by that is you can't. The old adage, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. It's the same thing in with you want to reach kids and you want to be that person, but there's kids out there that you can't reach. And in terms, sometimes you got to be careful. What I said earlier, in trying to reach those kids, you leave good kids behind that lose interest in these things. So I've been blessed that since I've been there, I've had good numbers. And to me, good numbers is 10 per class.
Yeah.
Okay. Now. I have the same numbers that Central Hardin has right now. And that's a 6A school. And he's going to be good. And would probably beat us because they're just bigger. And they're just – but – so it just relates that numbers aren't necessary. LJ and them have done it with 27 kids on their roster for as long as I remember. Right. I've played them several times. He's had 21. And there's the 21 toughest kids in that school, I promise you. Yeah. There are 21 toughest kids in that school. I don't know if I answered your question.
You answered my question.
But I'm a firm – the older I've gotten, the more I want kids that want to be there. Mm-hmm. whether they can play, I don't care how bad they are. I don't care how bad a person they are, because like I said earlier, if they want to be there, they want my coaching, and they want what I have.
I'm getting coached up tonight.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I'm what you say, out to pasture, catching more fish than you are. But anyway,
You got more time.
And I
got a lot more time. Yeah, he got more today. So he said, we hadn't seen him. But it gets my juices flowing to sit around and talk shop and see somebody successful at what they're doing. And even if you're 0-10 and you still have this same, power coming, exuding that, I'm okay with that. Now, it just so happens, I know people are going to say, well, he was 8-2 this year, and they beat the Scotties, and they beat this team, and they only lost to Campbellsville. I get it.
9-3, sir.
You was 9-3, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you something, but whatever you were. You had a great season.
Yes, sir.
And here's what I hear.
We're going to get there.
For what this is worth. I'm an old guy that's retired. I'm fishing. I'm in Wisconsin, everywhere. All I hear is, what about Hart County? And you know what I say? So I don't know who's coaching over there, but he's doing a good job, because I told him a long time ago they're going to be good if they can stay together. And doggone it, you proved me right. You made a believer,
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the people taking notice, because it's like me doing this. When you text me, I'm a firm believer in it. I want to talk about our program.
Yes.
I want to talk about my kids. I do. And I told you guys this earlier. I'm blessed, and I was able to do things. I'm 45 years old. I'm retired. I know I retired at the age of 39.
Tell them what you retired from.
I was a firefighter.
We didn't get to hear about the Marine Corps.
We'll talk about my firefighter, because that's what I would love doing.
Okay.
And I got to retire from that, but the problem is, the thing that I'm going to tell you and that I've been blessed to do is I haven't made a lot of money, and that's okay. I'm not making a lot of money now, and that's okay. But but what I got to do is I've woke up I started fire department when 19, and I left there in third for 23 years, give and take, because I had military time and I had volunteer time and stuff in that. I got to wake up every day and love what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm fortunate to have a wife to now support me in another career that I get to wake up every day and love what I'm doing. Is it hard? Is it stressful? Is the youth today hard? Yes, they are. The world it probably you know what, it probably no different today than it was in 1944. It's just social media and everything's made it different. Okay,
it's smaller. The world's compressed.
It has. But I still, when I wake up every day, I have a drive that makes me want to go do what I do, and I'm fortunate to have a wife that allows me to do that. And listen, she's not retired. She works every day, and she makes good money, and she's got a good career, and she's a successful person, and she put her way through college and by herself with the kid, and she's done great things, and she's but she has given me up, and my family has given me up to be able to do what I do. And I know that they've suffered. I know there's times I probably should have been there, but I have a passion to do what I do. And when you can be passionate about something you do,
yeah, there's a good give and take there.
Yeah. There is. There really is.
Let's talk about a coach's wife for a minute.
Yeah,
that's something that they hear everything. They are taking care of the kids.
I just want to see if you all have done what I did. I just want to see if.
Okay. I mean, the coach's wife that's the make or break. There's a lot of coaches divorced. There's a lot of divorce. You look at Sean Payton. Most of the guys at the top level, they work so hard and put so much into it. Sleep at the office. It's 80 hours a day, 200 hours a week, which doesn't exist, but they make it seem that way. But with us, a good woman, a good wife, helps level everything out, I think.
I want to go down that road a little bit, what you just said.
Go for it.
And first of all, I have to say, my wife is amazing. Okay? You all don't know her, and I know I'm supposed to say that because she's my wife. I don't have to say that. I could go this whole podcast when I speak about my wife,
right.
Okay? Because we could do that. I'm not going to. My wife is amazing in what she does. And the thing that a coach's wife does, and let me tell you this about my wife, okay? Not only has she had to endure me coaching, you guys don't, let me tell you this. I worked 24-hour shifts. I worked 56 hours a week. So every third day, not counting if I was on overtime now, every third day I was not sleeping in my house. So a third of my life automatically was taken away from my family with the fire department. Not counting if I worked overtime shifts. And I was blessed to be able to coach while I was at the fire department. So now she's dealing with a guy that is only there a third of the time, and then he's coaching football all the time.
Coach, this may be the greatest thing to ever happen to y'all's marriage.
But I agree with that because now, let me tell you something. There's a lot of firefighters get retired and get divorced. Okay, no, but we have joked about that, and there's been times. Listen, she'll tell you that come August or July, September, there's always one. There's one day where we just she lets me know how it is, and I have to step back and say you're right. But she's a great woman, and that's what it takes, because and I don't want to get off talking about the coaches' wives, but she's a giver taker. She's a mother to my kids, and she's a mother to the coaches, the kids we are. She has felt when we built our house. She said, "Coach," she said, "let's put bunk beds in the whole basement." So let's keep all these kids that are having problems and foster kids. We have a high rate of foster kids in Hart. Let's keep them all. You know, we've thought about being a foster parent because there was a kid getting shipped off, and she has felt everything that I feel.
That's awesome.
And it's tore apart. I said it earlier. There's been nights where she's cried, and I'm like, it's gonna be okay. There's people that she's had to tell people they've came to our house, you know, because we weren't winning, and they want answers, and she's
put for sale signs in your yard.
She's endured it all, okay?
Yeah.
And she still gets up every day and lets me go do it. Because it'd be easy for her to say, hey, listen, it's time for you to come home. It's time for all this silliness and this nonsense to stop. You need to come home, and we need to. And she hasn't. And she doesn't. She every now and then I'll say, I don't know how much longer she got. She said, shut up. You'll be doing it today. You'll do it until you can't do it no more. Mm-hmm. So coaches' wives, just like I always said about the fire department, they're a special breed. Okay, they are. And it's hard on them. They, especially in this day and age, you know, they social media and everything they see and hear, They take it to heart.
It's an open book now.
I am who I am. I wear sweatshirts. I do what I do. You're gonna get Chad Griffin every day.
Coach, that's a good looking sweatshirt.
I appreciate it.
Large.
I'll make sure y'all get something. But what I'm gonna say is I am who I am, and I don't care if you like me or not. She doesn't feel that way. She wants everybody to like us. Mm-hmm. So when they post the stuff on social media and they do things, she takes it to heart, and it weighs on her. It don't weigh on me. I get up next day and I'll go shake their hand.
Okay, here's what I did. I have put my wife through this. And I want to see if you all have done this before. I have literally drew up a X's and O's play and went over and run it by my wife to see if she agrees that it'll work or not.
I've never done that.
Have y'all ever done that?
No.
Oh, you know what my wife would see? She would see French.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have a clue.
Oh, my wife did too, but I'm trying to explain it to her, so I'm just basically arguing at myself in the mirror.
I tried.
I tried to film and back up and show it, say, honey, you like how this, we're blocking back on the front side and then we're kicking out.
All my wife would ever say, she goes.
Of course, she's agreeing with me because that's a coach's wife.
That's what she's supposed to do.
She's trying to keep you level. That's the word you all use.
That is something that you need.
She's trying to keep you level. All I'm wanting is to be authenticated.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
Because we get beat up if it works. We get beat up if it don't. There's all this pressure that you get. I have literally made my wife watch film with me.
My wife has done that.
I watch film. I just have never.
Yeah.
She doesn't. Listen, my wife is a. I don't know that I've ever done that to her, but she's watched film, and she'll sit in the living room with me just so we can have some time together while I'm doing film. And I shouldn't do it then. There's the time. But what I want to get to is what we talked about. Is the world different now than it is in 1944? It is because we've let success drive us as a nation. Yeah. And it's like Sean Payton. What makes Sean Payton any better than
Chad Griffin?
Chuck Noll? Or I don't know. Name an old-time coach who probably didn't spend as much time as
Tom Landry.
You know why? Because we get caught keeping with the Joneses. I can remember when I coached middle school football, it was we start in August. Or when I played middle school football, we started in August and we ended in September, and we played 10 games, and now middle school football coaches are out there and they're year round, and we're doing this because
they've got a dead period.
This coach did it because and now he's successful, so everybody wants to do it.
We all started chasing the private schools that the kids focused on one sport.
Well,
and spring football for Trinity, then we'd hear about it, then you hear Bowling Green's doing it, then the next thing you know, we're doing it, and we've got 10 kids and they're running track, but anyway,
it's from the top to the bottom that way. We've made ourselves the generation. If you guys remember when COVID came, everybody talked about what? It's been nice to slow down. It's been nice to eat separate with my family. It's been nice to just not do all that stuff that we think we're going to do. But when COVID left, what were we quick to get to? We were quick to get back to what we were before. Yeah. And what I'm trying to get to is, do you think that Tom Osborne, or let's go back in the 60s, do you think those coaches were sleeping in their office?
No.
They weren't.
No.
So why do we think we have to do it today? because we want to keep up with the Joneses.
Which,
And I'm notorious for it because I want to win. But in the end, what we do is we forget about living.
okay, it goes
We're so
back to
caught up in
something you
this.
said earlier. I don't go to church every Sunday like
That's
I
right.
should. Okay, I was guilty of that when I was a head coach. I would literally find myself going to the stadium to break down film, to wash extra load of laundry, to make sure the field stuff was ready. And then I would use it as an excuse to say, you know what, we got our teeth kicked in, got my soul told Friday night. I just can't face the Congress. You know, I would get into that thing. And then sometimes if we won, you know, then I'd like, well, I'm just going to, you know, you get into something. And when we talked about faith on my part, and this is nothing with you, I was just kind of, I had everything shifted wrong. Mine was about job, family, friend, you know, and then faith was here. When I got sick and as I got out of football, I realized I wish I had a do-over. I really do. I'd be so much better coach right now at 58 than I was at 32, 40, because now I would understand the way things really should be. I'd be calmer. I probably wouldn't yell obscenities at my preacher who was a referee. I'm sorry. You may have to bleep that one out. But anyway, Richard Martin, I love him to death. He was my pastor at Glenview. And he said, Jeff, do you remember us meeting? I said, no, Richard. He said, you were coaching middle school. And I was the little skinny guy that was running the sidelines. He said, boy, I hope you've cleaned up your... And so, forever and a day, Richard and I love Richard Martin.
He's a great guy.
He's wonderful. You do understand, be careful, little mouth, what you say. Because there's people listening, people here. And that's what I meant to go. I did this little catwalk to say I would be better for kids now.
Mm-hmm. Well, but we will always be better because we know the old adage. But
hindsight.
But you're right, and I'm guilty of what I just pulled to the surface. I'm guilty of, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm guilty. Same thing as you. I'm guilty of. Hey, man, we got to watch film. We got to. I'm guilty of telling my coaches, why aren't you on the? Now we're blessed with Huddle and Huddle tracks every time. But you watch film and how many hours you've watched a film and this and that. And I can, it is. But once again, it's everything that evolves. But you're right. We still, as coaches, forget about. Everybody wants to be here. Everybody wants to be Trinity and St. X. And in every class of football, I've said this 1,000 times. There's a couple hammers and everybody else just a nail. Mm-hmm. And you're lucky every now and then get maybe to be the hammer.
That's right.
So if that's the truth, if that's the case, if what I'm saying is, why do we worry so much about winning than we should developing young men, become young men?
Can I stop you? And don't kill me, community. What would you say to the parents and the fans of Barron County who's in 6A? And there's hammers that are perennial 6A, Trinities, St. X's, and all those hammers. What would you say, not coaching our kids, but what's realistic? If you were giving a talk to the people that's getting ready to start up a new season, would it be the same at Hart County? Would you have the same expectations?
Yeah.
Or would it be the same?
Because even we have hammers. We have Cal. We have Louisville Central.
Okay.
Now I think we're a top 5 team this year because Paducah Tillman's moved out of our class.
This is what I want people to hear.
Ashland Blazers moved out of our class, but we still have hammers. I mean, listen.
So if Barron County can beat Central,
and
Meade County, okay, they do that.
So
that's success, knowing that you've got an opportunity to go meet the hammer.
Right.
Yes.
And it's okay. And I don't know, unrealistic expectations is very common in life.
Yes.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that, but to hold a person. If what you're asking me, do I think Barron County is doing the right thing? Yes.
Yes.
By far. And if you are a parent out there and you're listening to this and you're a Barron County parent, you need to understand why that's the right decision. And it's the right decision because you're giving your kids a chance. Mm-hmm. Okay? You're moving into a district that is, I said this before we started, and you guys didn't even ask me this. I think I compare Barron County to Central Hardin. If I look at the demographic and I look at the kids and I look at what's going on, they're the same.
It's Central Hardin. It is.
They're the same. What I could say is you beat Central Hardin. You've beat them. You've beat them twice, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. I don't know. In the last 3 years, maybe you beat them twice. And have you beat Meade? I don't know. I mean,
once,
or I don't know. But you have a chance. Now, listen, for all the people out there listening don't know, Trevin Hayes does a thing, and he's trying to get this radio show back up, and he's talking about Western Kentucky football versus Lexington area and this and that.
Sure.
Let me explain something to you. The district that you guys were in at Barron County is probably, let me just put this in perspective. My last year at Central Hardin, we won the district, which is Meade, us, Central, and I don't know who else was in it with us. North Hardin, Meade, Central, and there was somebody else. We won it, and we won the region. We went and beat McCracken, and then we come back here and we beat Meade, and we won the region. We won the region championship, and we go and we play Mayo, and they're just better than we are. But what I'm getting to is we were, let me think about this, regular season we were 7-3, right? I'm trying to think. We may have been 8-2. But you know who our 2 losses were? South Warren and Bowling Green.
In our district.
Mm-hmm. We were a 6A semifinal team in Bowling Green, and let me explain this to you. They didn't just beat us. They clocked us. South Warren didn't clock us. Bowling Green clocked us.
Yeah.
So, yes, you guys, they're doing right. The administration, whoever made the decision to stay in 6A was smart.
Right.
Okay, I have my opinion. I don't think you should be able to move classes. I'm not running from nobody. I'm going to stay in my. What it comes down to is this. Because I'm a good friend of Larry Mofield, who's the head coach of Meade County, and they got the shaft this year. Okay, and excuse my language. I don't know if that, but because they allowed teams to move up, they allowed Warren Central to move up, and they allowed you guys to move up, and now so he got kicked out. Now he's over there with Fern Creek. He won't win a district game to where he could compete in the district he was in. That's why I'm against it.
Right.
But it is what it is. They allow us to take advantage of it, and you're smart for taking advantage of it because kids don't want to be losers, just like we don't want to be losers. Mm-mm. And not only do they not want to lose, they don't want to know that they're going out there and there's really no chance. And for some, that's the way it is. As good as we were in 2016, when we played Male, there was not a chance. And let me tell you something. Male started the third string running back against us.
Wow.
That's how good they were.
So in your classification now, is it Lexington Catholic? Who do you have?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like where we are, it's Cal Louisville Central,
Christian Academy of Louisville.
Yep,
Okay.
who won the state championship last year. Bardstown's moved out. They went to 4A. Paducah Tillman's went to 4A. Ashland Blazers went to 4A. Lexa Catholic's 4A. Boyle County's 4A. All those kids, all those guys that were 3A have all moved out. So it's really paved a good path for us. I mean, it really has. I mean, now we still got Glasgow, and we got Franklin Simpson's moved up.
Yeah.
Which we've scrimmaged Franklin Simpson the last 3 years. I know that they're a wing T team. Max does a good job with them. So I mean, it's still tough. It's still a tough class, but it's not what it was last year. I can tell you, with Bardstown moving, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
E-Town's still in it. E-Town dropped down to 3A.
Bardstown was really good last year.
They were young, too.
Speed, speed.
You can't coach speed. And that's something we're fortunate to have right now. I really am. But no, I like where we sit. I think, and this is what I'm talking about moving, okay? I don't want to be in the same district as Cal and Louisville Central. I'd hate to be sitting in E-Town shoes where you got Cal and Louisville Central. That's 1 and 2. I mean, E-Town going to have the best team they have, and it's going to take a lot to beat those two guys. But when you get to the second and third round of playoffs anyway, I don't care what class you're in, you're going to play somebody good.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. So, for a little school like us, and I say little, we're 3A. For us winning a playoff game last year was big. We won the first playoff game in school history in 51 years.
First.
51 years of, imagine that. I can't imagine. But now our goal is to get to the second and third round. Once you get that far, I mean,
that's why I said from Barron County, I think maybe we won 2 district games in the history of the school, maybe.
I think they've won 1 playoff.
1 or 2. I mean, come on.
But you got a chance. You do. It's not a bad move. I know if there's anything I know Meade counties and I know Central Hardins and I know those guys. And you know what? Hey, Warren Central's a good.
The fans of our program are the greatest. They will fill the bleachers. And I've told Todd this: if we can ever get to the point where we can consistently win a playoff game, get to the second round, and then to build up. I mean, the one year we went to the basketball, we had 15, 20,000 people in the room. I mean, it was burgundy and gold everywhere. Well, they're hungry.
Yeah, I can say this. We played in the bowl game over there the last 2 years. Well, I guess we've been there 4 years.
Right.
And we're not going to this year, which I hated. It didn't work out the way it
McCreary
was.
Central pretty good.
We did, but what I was going to get to is I was envious. My son was envious of how much support Barron County has. Oh. And I'm not being mean. And when I say this, they're I have no room to talk, but it's not like they're tearing it up. But you had a good fan base. It was a great crowd. The student section was great. It was just a great atmosphere. We would always stay and watch you guys play the team afterwards. And you do have a good fan base. As far as coming out and supporting and
welcome back. We just took a short break from First Down in Life. Hope everybody's enjoying Chad Griffin. It sure has been a pleasure for me and Coach Richey. So, Chad, I wanted you to go back over last year's season. I know you all had a lot of firsts for Hart County, and I wanted to hear you kind of walk us through the excitement, the highs, the lows, and what was 2022?
2022 was obviously a great year for us. There was a lot of things we've done that haven't ever been done there before. And I find us talking about that, but what I think happened more is I think as a program we became another step as a football team we became another step closer to being a program. Mm-hmm. You can ask me what the difference is, but a program is a program from top to bottom, from your seniors to your freshmen. Everybody's on. When they leave, everything's being passed on. Our spring ball this year, I'm gonna do things different because I don't have to do the things I've had to do in the past to get where we need to be for the regular season. We can do things that we know what we're doing on offense and we know what we're doing on defense because I've had these kids for 4 or 5 years now. Mm-hmm. So the season started out last year. Played our crosstown rival with Caverna, and there was a lot of like Coach said earlier, there was a lot of excitement about these kids coming up, and people couldn't wait to see them get on the field. And we beat Caverna, and we came over to Barron County and played McCreary Central and beat them pretty good. And I thought they were much better this year than they were last year when we played them there. And they came out and scored a touchdown. Scored a touchdown real early, which was our kind of MO. Like I told you guys earlier, we're still trying to find ourselves on defense, and we go over to Greene County, which if you could get a coach, I recommend Colt. Colt is a class act. He's done a really good job over there. Young guy that's doing good things. Mm-hmm. He had my hats off to him. They beat us pretty good in 2021, but we go over there and we're down. And that the defining moment we talked about, like with Metcalf, of course, I don't have Jordan Bradley, who is our leading running back. We go there and we play, and we go down. They go down and throw an interception, and we get the ball, and we drive down the field, and I get in heavy and overload, and I do some things, and we run down the throat, run XB that you heard him talk about, and we go down and score. I thought, heck, they can't play with us. They come back and they score a touchdown. And it goes back and forth. We come out after halftime. I think we were up 13-12, whatever it was. We come out and we fumble an open kickoff. They go score a touchdown. Mm. We come back out. We go 3 and out. My quarterback looks like he's lost. We just don't look like a very good football team. Fumble the football. They get the ball, they score. Next thing you know, we're up 2 touchdowns. And I'll never forget this moment. I turned to my wife, and we're about halfway through the third quarter. I said, we are better than they are. And she shook her head, and I said, I don't know what the deal is. It's one of those times I've talked about where I kind of question me. I kind of question, man, am I doing the right thing here? And
click.
Hey, we come out and we throw we had practiced it all week. Somebody saw on film, and we throw a screen to Clark Rex Rowe, a bubble screen to him.
Wait a minute, did I hear you say you threw?
We threw a screen.
Yes.
Listen, first pass we completed all night. Okay, so we throw a screen, and it gets better. We throw a screen to Clark Rex Rowe, and he goes 40 yards. He gets tackled. Well, and I don't know why I didn't do it in the first half. I tried to just do the things that I felt comfortable doing, and didn't I would do was on script for us to do the things we had practiced all week. Just because that's who I am. I'm conservative, and so we run quick pitch and we get in the end zone, and like that we're only down 1 touchdown, and we get a stop and we run quick pitch again and get in the end zone. Once we started playing football, we were the better football team. So to win the game, to go up, of course when momentum changes. We, in the fourth quarter, we throw another pass. We fake a rocket, like a quick pitch, and throw a pass over top to Clark, and he goes 75 yards and scores a touchdown. And we really took over the game. But the fact of the matter is I knew at that point that our kids had changed, because if that was Hart County 2 years ago, we would have folded like a book. Mm-hmm. We would have shut the book and been done. We went down 2 touchdowns.
So what did you do? Was it at halftime or was it after halftime? What did you do to manage the kids when obviously their heads are messed up?
I did what I should have done in the first half, or what I opened up. And I quit being scared. It's kind of like that old movie, what is it, with Bobby Boucher, when he looks across the field and and he draws the play. I mean, I just said it in the thing that we worked on this stuff all week. We worked on that screen pass and the screen and go, and we worked on this overload rocket, throwing quick pitch, and and I never ran it. I just tried to do my bread and butter and hand XB off, and I opened it and I let my kids play football. And
I think you're on to something though that all coaches deal with. When the kids lose their heads or they kind of lose their emotion, they lose their heart, were the kids saying things to you, or did you say anything to the kids?
I turned to Boone. I called them over after they scored the last touchdown. Like, guys, listen, man, you are better than these guys. We should not be down 2 touchdowns. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't have faith. I didn't know how we would respond. I mean, you just got kicked in your mouth for about 7 minutes there. Everything went wrong as it could go wrong, and we're down 2 touchdowns. And I'm telling you, Hart County teams, even my teams in the past, would have folded. We'd have been done. But when I looked in their eyes, not one of them thought we were gonna lose the football game. Even though I turned to my wife,
how they was gonna win it.
They just didn't know how. And hey, listen, we went down there, and that was kind of the turning point for our season. I say that, but you know what the funny part was? We go out the next week and we lay a big old egg against Glasgow. I mean, not against Glasgow, against Campbellsville. Campbellsville comes in and they're pretty good though. We're better, and we should have won. But we didn't play well. First half we didn't play worth a dang. Didn't score a point. We took the open drive and went down and got on the 2-yard line. Couldn't get it in. Just stuff that we don't typically do. Couldn't finish. And we got in the game and got a chance to win it, and had a chance. I think we had made an interception. They called something and we didn't get the interception. And it was a back and forth game, but I'll never forget. Trevin Hayes looked at me and he said, "Coach, we had to lose this game to win the next one, which was Glasgow." Mm-hmm. And he was
Glasgow followed up Campbellsville,
and I was scared because we just got beat by a team that I thought we were better than, and they were young. They're all freshmen and sophomores, and I'm juniors and sophomores, and so going into Glasgow week. I just told our team, you know what, man, we got to quit.
Which was a district game.
Which is the opening of the district game for us. And I said, we got to quit worrying about everybody else and worry about us. And we just put our nose to the grind. And, of course, Clark got hurt in the Campbellsville game. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, how am I going to do this? I got 2 kids that I thought would be JV stars this year. And they're getting ready to start against Glasgow. And we just, but the whole week, the funny thing is the whole week our kids believed we were going to win. I mean, they really believed we were going to win, even though I knew we could win. After watching film and seeing some stuff they had done, I thought they were 4-0 and we were 3-1, and I thought, man, we got a chance. And that's all you can ask for is a chance, especially against a good. Glasgow's good. They're always good. They always will be good. And I tell you. It was a good game. I don't know if you guys have got to watch. It was a great game.
I was in Wisconsin, and I heard about it in Wisconsin.
Well, Joey Stockton is not Joey. What's the Stockton boy's first name? What's his? Kieran. Kieran Stockton put on the show. I mean, we couldn't tackle him.
And Joey Stockton was good too.
Yeah, Joey Stockton. But Kieran Stockton put on the show, and had. I mean, we couldn't tackle him. But it was just one of those things where we just. I really feel like at the end of the day, we were the most. The first time I played Glasgow, I had more athletes than they did, or as many as athletes as they did.
That's saying something.
It is. Glasgow, listen, Glasgow's a great program, and they can call themselves a program because they're a program.
Mm-hmm. But that's saying something about where your program is.
Well, I appreciate
where you now can say, we match up, we should win or can win.
And I thought we should going into the season, but then the knee injury to Jordan and Clark, I just didn't know where we would be. I didn't know
where were these 2 kids? What position?
They're both my wings. Both my starting wings. Been my starting wings for 2 years. So I'm putting 2 new. Sophomore kid that was 135 pounds. I'm telling you, he's 135 pounds soaking wet.
So that is a terribly important part of your
offense. And then I had another kid that's a big kid. If you see him right now, you think, God, he's a Greek god. He benches 320 pounds, weighs 190 pounds. He looks like a chiseled.
Yeah.
And somebody they carved from the Greek gods. And he played
like
the other
Brian.
wing.
He looked a lot like Brian.
But he had moved it back in. Had been in some trouble, moved back in. I didn't know what he had. And he had a heck of a game too. And listen, our kids Jackson's shoulders made a bunch of good plays. And I thought we could beat them, but I didn't know. I mean, they're Glasgow. And we're Hart County. And that them being Glasgow gives them 14 points on us. Well, I mean,
that's a good way to look at it,
And so but we pulled it out. And our kids fought to the end. And I told my coach staff when we went up top, we have a hospitality room. We go up there and eat every day after the games. I told them, I said, guys, I knew we could win, but I didn't think we could win the way we won. And what I mean by that is if I felt like if you took the Stockton kid away, they couldn't do anything for us. And he's good. But I just felt like the tide, you could see it changing during the game. I mean, you could just see our kids believing. And that was big. And then then we got Taylor County. We went to Adair County.
Yeah.
And
who's building a decent program?
And they got a good coach. Stoney's a good guy, man. He's a good guy. Casey County's crazy for letting him get out of there. But they worry me this year. They're going to be good. They had a bunch of juniors on their team, bigger at the front. We went in there and they drove down the field and scored. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, what is our deal? And we come out and, hey, I had to open it up. And we they stuffed us on the first drive. Yep. They stuffed us on the first drive. We come out and hit that rocket pass 2 times.
I'm loving the rocket pass.
To the tight end for a touchdown. And then we go up, and I think we're up 21-7 at halftime. But they played the stuff, and we didn't play real well. So I'm sitting there thinking, man, we got Taylor County next. Which, if y'all don't know, Taylor County's
they built the program. Yes.
They'd have. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know if we can beat them. And I think we started playing our best football at Glasgow, but we were playing our best football when we played Taylor County. Mm-hmm. They scored 21 on us, but one of them was a Hail Mary pass on 3rd and 27 that our corner got caught, underjumped it, and the kid caught it and went for a touchdown. And the other one was a kickoff return after we went up 21-14. So you take those two away, we beat them 42-7.
Yeah.
And we just came out, our kids just played. Defense started to click. And so there you go. We beat them, and we're sitting 3-0 in the dang district. And if you had told me that 2022 we're going to play Casey County, who I have not lost to since I've been here, we're going to play Casey County for the district championship, I'd have said there's no way. There's no way. There's no way Glasgow and Taylor's not somewhere in the mix. And here comes Casey. We go on a bye week, and here comes Casey, and I watch them, and they are what they are. They're not real talented. They're big up front, and they got a really good quarterback who I thought deserved the MVP because if you took him off the team, I don't know if they win a game. Wow. And we go down there, and it just you as a coach, you've been there. Yeah. It never felt right from the get go. Yeah. I told you earlier I didn't punt. Well, we were down 13-12, and we had the ball. And we were struggling. They were selling out on our rock. They were selling on some certain things. They're not giving credit. Coach got them to buy in and doing some things. They were tackling our line. They weren't letting us pull. But they bought into it. If I told my kids, tackle that lineman right there, they're going to look at me like, you're crazy. They bought into it.
Yeah.
And I went for it on 3rd and 1, and I called the wrong play, and then in the right 4th and 1, and they stopped us and went down and scored, and that was the difference in the game. That was the difference in the game. If I had known there was only 2 minutes left.
XP or whatever?
No, we ran a power play. But it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter was they sold it out. That's right. And they sold out on it, and we didn't. And they went down and scored, and that was the difference in the ball game. I mean, really, truthfully, it was a different ball game. We had chances to win the game. We didn't. And I once again, though, here we are. We're 5-2, and I don't know how we're going to respond. I mean, we still got to go play Grayson County, and we got to go down to Tennessee and play a team out of Tennessee that's about a 4-hour drive. And I didn't know how my kids were going to respond. I mean, they're once again, Hart County in the past, you lose the district championship, which is heartbreaking. We've never played for a district championship.
Is it safe to say Hart County in the past, the old adage, you can't let losing to Casey County beat us twice?
That's
like
true.
You lose on Friday night, and then it lingers into the next week, and you end up losing 2 games because of a bad. Let's see, that's what's hard for coaches to get their young kids to buy into. It's over. It's in the past. You learn from it. You move on. But sometimes when you don't have that traditional perennial powerhouse program, you sometimes lose 2 because of one.
Because that was my worry with Campbellsville. And it's my worry with Casey. So we go down the road and we just blow the team outdoors off the team from Tennessee. And then comes Grayson County. We didn't play real good against Grayson County. When we beat them 14-0, but it was just like everything we did, every time we tried to get going, we shot ourselves in the foot with stupid penalties, or it was not a good night. It was just a very ugly night for a senior night. So here we are though. We're 2nd seed. A lot of hype. Homecoming was good. They shut the town down. We got to ride through little town football and all that stuff. I talk about it all the time. I do too. Yeah. Small town football in USA is what I call it, and I love it. But we got Trigg County coming to our place. And
speaking of wrestling and
and football and powerlifting, they won on powerlifting state meets. And I turned the film on, I'm thinking, man, they're good, but they had a kid that was quarterback, probably the best quarterback I've seen. Honest goodness, he made a difference. If he doesn't play, we beat him by 40. He plays, and we had to intercept the ball at the end of the game. But I was just, once again, it's unknown. We've never hosted a playoff game. How are my kids going to respond? I don't have a clue. I don't know. I mean,
that's a big win.
And that was. And I will say that was probably the best game. That everybody thinks Glasgow. Yes, that was great. That was big for our program. No. We can talk about it. But that win over Trigg County
in the playoffs
at home in front of that crowd was. And before this game was over, the whole crowd was standing on the dang track on the sideline. It was the biggest thing that could have happened to our kids. Now, I'm going to get into...
What about your crowd sizes this year?
They were as big as they've ever been. Our gates have been the bigger they've ever been. It's been the community, the support, all of it has been outstanding.
Administration and stuff?
All of it. I just can't say enough about it. And
the league kids?
We recognize them. They come to games, throw the football. I mean, it feels like what it felt like when I was at Central Hall. What I was looking for.
And it wasn't a game, it was an event.
It was an event. There you go. That's the best way to put it. So, here comes Union County. 12-0. Beat Paducah Tillman. Last year, thought they should have been in the state. They should have been in Paducah's spot and, yada, yada, yada. Turn the film on. I'm thinking, man, they're really not. We can play with them. But getting my kids to understand that we could. Once again, we're in a spot we've never been to. Second round playoffs. We got to get on a bus. We got to drive 4 hours. We got to play in the cold.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm with my kids. We should have won that football game. We gave up 2 bonehead. We come out, they get the ball, and they go down, and we stop them, and we get the ball, and we go 95 yards, bam, right at that. We run in power, and Clark Rick Rose running through them like it's nothing. Jordan Bradley and everybody, we're just having a big old time. Score a touchdown. They come out, throw an interception. Once again, here we go, turn and play the game. If we go down and score and go 14-0, they're quitting. They were already arguing with each other. They were mad. The Fads were mad. We get a 55-yard run, get a holding penalty. It's a 75-yard holding penalty.
Oh, man.
Because by the time you had it...
And you had every opportunity to break their wheel.
And we couldn't. And they came down and they threw a... They threw a slant, and our corner got caught looking in the backfield, and the kid took it to the house. Well, that's one bonehead play. And we literally gave him that touchdown. So now it's 7-7. Well, then our best linebacker, he comes off the edge. It's 3rd and 7. He comes off the edge and has a little – and the little run back's good. He's going a little – has him in the backfield. He breaks off and goes 75 yards for a touchdown. Then right before half, they'd run a double move on one of my corners. They'd do a out and up, and he bit on the out, and they throw a touchdown over top. We're down 21-7. We come back and tie it up 21-21. And we just couldn't get over that hump. That one touchdown, I'm telling you, it would have folded. They would have folded shop. They didn't expect a little Hart to come down there and do what we did. They had beaten Trigg pretty good in the regular season. We struggled, and we didn't really struggle. At one point, we were up 3 touchdowns on Trigg and gave up 2 onside kicks. But when we walked away from the game, our kids were mad, and that really. And I'm not as a coach. I was happy they were mad. Because I wanted to say, guys, it's okay. You've done stuff that has never been done here, and that wasn't good enough for them.
Let me take the paintbrush and paint. If you had been a senior-laden team and it was all over and you hugged everybody and said, let's enjoy the bus ride back home, we've had a great year, but this is what you had or have going for you. Underclassmen, I've got the core of this team, all of them coming back, but a couple maybe or whatever. So that had to be something that you built on, the hunger, the weight room, the flipping tires, the cinder blocks with, the whole deal has got to be gearing you up for something special.
Well,
as we head into this.
And as we head into this season, we'll talk about 2023, the upcoming season, but as a coach, I was proud that they weren't satisfied with what we've done. They weren't satisfied with 9-3 and the first. They weren't satisfied. They knew they left something out there. So that's what we've been talking about all year. And you know what changed us is when I said we're going to quit worrying about everybody else and worry about us. And that's what we talk about every day. We're going to quit worrying about Glasgow, and we're going to quit worrying about Taylor counties, and we're going to quit worrying about E-towns, and we're going to quit worrying about Spencer counties. We're going to worry about us. And we're going to put one foot in front of the other. And how good can we be? And so that's our motto for 2023. Now, 2023, guys, listen. I've done it. I've seen it. Central Hardin, we went 12, we went 10-0, and yada yada yada. And the next season we got beat when we got beat by two really good football teams. We got a tough schedule. We opened up with Spencer County, who beat the 6A state champions last year. They beat Bold East last year in regular season. Right. It was the only loss to Bold East. Wow. That was the only loss Bold East had. We got them on the schedule. Now they do lose some people, but Coach Marksbury is a great coach. They run the wing tee. He was with Coach Nelson at Nelson County. He was with Mark Nelson at Nelson County. So they're going to be coached well. If I look in the mirror, I see us. Okay. We got E-Town on the schedule, week 4.
Always.
Hey, listen, I want to beat me some Panthers. But they're good, very well coached. They got some good friends. The guy that's on the fire department with me coaches there.
Coach Brown over there now.
No, the young Brown's head coach.
The young one,
Ross Brown.
Ross Brown. Okay.
He's got a good staff. Their D coordinator and I played ball together. Quentin Brown's his name, but I call him Cool Cat. So I got a lot of ties there. We go to E-Town week 4. We got Greene County on the schedule again, who's going to be good. They bring back a lot. Our district has changed. We got Franklin Simpson, which is they're
it's a crapshoot with Franklin.
Well, they're going to be good. They're Franklin
good,
Simpson,
and then
they're Franklin Simpson. They have the traditional. I'm Franklin Simpson, and that means something. We got Glasgow, which everybody knows. Glasgow. We still Adair County is going to be better. So that rounds up our district play, and then we finish the season with Campbellsville last game. So we got a dang tough schedule. We really do. Butler County has joined our district, and we've scrimmaged Butler and Franklin the last 2 years. We've scrimmaged both of them in a 3-way scrimmage, so we're pretty familiar with each other. Both coaches and I are good friends. Max Cheney, the head football coach at Franklin Simpson, is a super, super good dude. He's really good friends with Todd from Allen County. They were roommates in college. He's a really good guy. He and I.
Brad Hood.
Sorry, I said Todd. Yeah. Todd is E-Town guy.
Yeah.
Brad Hood. And so I'm excited for the season. Now, you asked me when I got here what I lose. I lost 4 seniors. We'll lose a quarterback, which he had a really good year for us this year. And I lose a right tackle. And then I lose a kid that played secondary for us, and he was kind of utility knife, did a lot of stuff for us. And then we lose another D lineman. But what we have coming back is everything to me.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's like what you said. It's the hunger. It's the drive. Hey, I asked them that we started Toughness 5 weeks ago, and I said, guys, I want to drive the sled 1,000 yards. And many people may not think 1,000 yards is a long way to drive a sled, but when the grass is tall, because I won't mow it because I want it to be tough on them, and we worked our way up. We drove 500 yards the first Thursday, and 600 yards, and then 700 yards, and then 800 yards, and then 1,000. And I was leaving.
It's like facing the Giants, man.
It is
the death cross.
And what we're doing on Thursdays is what we call toughness, and that is it's a mental toughness thing. It's flipping tires, it's pulling tires, it's carrying 45-pound weights over your head down the field and back. It's made to make you tougher, and. They've responded well. I mean, the thing that I'm not getting that I've gotten before is, I'm dreading this, and they're looking forward to it. They're hungry.
Seeing it as a challenge.
Yes, they're hungry. I was going to leave early to try and get here in time for the thing, and they called me out on it and said, Coach, we only drove it 800 yards. We need 2 more. So I said, you get it done in 10. And they got on the sled. And the way we do that is a 5-man sled, 5-man drive for 10 seconds, next group 10 seconds, and it goes through. And there's guys throwing up on the sideline. But it's true. But hey, guess what? For every Thursday we've had, the same kids have showed up every Thursday.
That's awesome.
That means something. So, needless to say, as you can probably hear my voice, we're excited for 2023. It's a tough schedule. It's a schedule that, when people look at it, they think, man, Hart County's going to do that. But I have faith.
When you see me and Coach Stevens up with a bag of popcorn, will you not big time us or nothing? You'll wave at us.
I'll wave. I'll bring you to the sideline. I'll put my arm around you and tell you, hey, you're welcome to come. Please do. Hey, like I said before, I love this. I'm a football guy. I'm a high school football guy. My son is coaching college, and he says stuff. I don't want to coach college. No. I don't want no part of it. I want to coach young men that and I'm okay with them just wanting to play high school football. They don't have to want to play college football. They don't have to, because what's wrong with just being a good high school football player?
Can I ask you this?
Absolutely.
We're in this society, and I'm not taking away from your business, brother. Everybody thinks their kid's going to be the next great. If we can just get a highlight film together and all that, How do you handle it in your program? Do you
We
tell
promote
kids?
it. We promote it. No, I promote it. You know why?
Like you asked me that. How do you honestly tell a kid? You don't want to kill their dreams, but at the same time, you want to give them every avenue to promote themselves.
First thing, you got to be real with them. You got to be honest.
Yeah, be honest.
Okay, you got to be honest. We don't have Miami kids. We don't have those on the Hart County football team. They're not going to go to University of Miami.
Right.
Okay, they're not going to play for UK. There may be one or two come through that I've coached that maybe could have if they really wanted to, but they don't understand. You just got to be real with them. And we promote it. My son, coming from the college level, he hangs stuff up all the time about what it takes to be a college football player. He keeps up with the ACT doesn't really matter no more. It's GPA and all this stuff, and he educates them. And he'll ask them every year, and he'll put a profile together for them. If you get on our website, we have a website, hartcountyfootball.com. You get on there, you can see the profile he puts on there for coaches to look at. He puts them out there. I don't care if it's a kid that just plays special team. If he comes and says, I want to go play football somewhere, there's a place for him.
Okay.
There's a Campbellsville. There's a something that if he wants to go do it, I'm not going to tell him he can't do it. I'm going to be honest with him and say, I don't know if you need to be trying to go to Eastern.
Right.
You might want to do this. But we, as a staff, we take them to 4 or 5 camps. I think we went to Lindsey Wilson last year. We went to Vanderbilt. We went to, we went to a couple more small camps. And we promote that. I promote it. I want guys to go on and do better things. I want guys, in the reason why I do is because I can't tell you, I don't know how many guys from Hart County have ever went and played college football.
Right.
And you know why they don't go? You know why they don't believe they can? Because nobody's done it in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody said that. We got a kid at Georgetown right now, Dustin Butler, who played for me, played 4 years for me, and he's got a good heart. He's there. I want Dustin to finish that. I want Dustin to finish it through. He's not going to go play college, pro football, but he needs to finish it because he needs to prove to everybody else in Hart County it's okay to go to college and play football.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if they come to me and say, Coach, my middle linebacker, A.D. Milby, he probably don't. His dad lives here in Glasgow. He played at the, but he probably don't have no desire to play college football. And he could. He probably. If you walked on my field right now, if we took pads off and said, pick out a D1 kid for me, or pick out a kid who's going to play, you'd pick him out. He's 6'2.5", 220 pounds, bench press 300 pounds. He just got everything, but he doesn't have any desire to play college football. And that's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you.
And if they want it, Pick is glad
there
to
you
set
go.
up
Well,
a highlight
me and
film.
Pick, we're going to talk a little bit
All
and see if we can't get him some stuff because my
I've
son
rambled on.
But no, I have to. And guys, listen, I appreciate you letting me talk, man. I do.
Well, we love it.
We love it.
I could do this all night long. I know we all got families need to get home too. We probably miss out on all the time. But this, to me, it's been a fulfilling. I love what I do. I love talking about it.
It's obvious.
And and listen, I'm gonna be truthful with you. I've had kids call me and say, "Hey, Coach, I want to come to Hart County from wherever." And I'm like, "Guys, you really think about that? Why would you want to come to Hart County?" Because I don't want kids. I want people to understand that you can do what you want to do where you are. You just got to believe you can do that. Mm-hmm. And getting kids buy-in. And that's what I know. When I was at Central and watched it turn, I knew how it was going to turn because I watched kids stay after. I watched kids go out there and throw together. I watched kids start doing stuff that programs do. And that's what I'm seeing at Hart County. I'm seeing my quarterbacks have a throwing group, and they'll text them on Wednesdays and say, let's throw after practice. Walk by and listen, I don't stop. I let them do it. We don't lift on Wednesdays. It's a day that they need to go do their thing, church. And I was driving by last night after giving the checks to the referees for the baseball game, and 15 kids out there throwing football. They did it on their own, and that's when you know you're turning the corner. Mm-hmm. You really are. And my goal, I told you guys this before, is I don't want to be the winningest coach of Hart County. That doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. People say, oh, they're going to build statues. I don't want nothing like that. I want Hart County kids to understand that they can be the same as Glasgow kids and the same as Central Hardin kids. And I've said that since I've been here. I've pulled out 4 or 5 kids every year. I'm like, man, if you were at Central Hardin, you'd play for them. And he's like, Coach, there's no way. I'm telling you, if you grew up in that culture of believing and doing that they do, and we've talked about this with other schools, that if you were in that culture of winning breeds winners. Right. Mm-hmm. When I left Central Hardin and we won the region championship, I said, there's no way they're going to win back-to-back region championships. Winning breeds winners. Mm-hmm. It makes winners. Even when you're not good and you're used to winning, they expect to win. Glasgow probably, guys, in reality, had the less talented, I won't say worse, the less talented football team I've seen in 7 years. And they still won. because they still believe they're Glasgow. Okay? And they didn't like losing Hart County. And then they'll do everything they can this offseason to make sure they don't lose Hart County again. That's what breeds programs. Winners make winners. And that's what I want for Hart County. I want them to realize that we don't have to be the doormat. We can be winners. So, anything else you guys got?
Coach.
I've enjoyed it, Coach Griffin. This has been great for me. I always enjoy getting around Todd. You ought to come on Sunday morning at Mount Tabor. I always end it with this. Come to Mount Tabor, the oldest church in Barron County. At least our sign says that. And we've got a below-average pastor, but he does the best he can. Sometimes you'll have some below-average singing led by me or the pastor here. Yeah. But we have a group of men, and I'm so proud to be part of that. And just a bunch, Rut and all the guys, just football players. I'll tell you something right now. We have a member at our church that kicked for the Georgia Bulldogs and played for the New England Patriots. Now, how many people's got 50 people to church has got a pro kicker?
Not many.
So you come and I'll introduce you to them.
Hey, listen, I'm going to have to take you up on that offer. Hey, I do want to say before we go, guys, thank you again, okay? This is something I love talking about and passionate about. Glad we got to meet each other. That was just a small world after what we've talked about and know each other.
May even take you on the bass cat.
Well, don't. My wife is going to say no to that because she don't want me to buy another one. Okay?
May say you might.
But for those of you that are out there that are fishermen, I'm going to say this: there's not a better boat, and there's not, and I'm going to tell you why. Because hey, I read and I know this is I ramble. I read a Bass Masters Edition magazine probably 15 years ago, and they did a poll, and Bass Cat's not big on the Bass Masters. When you look on Bass Masters, you don't see it is. But back 15 years ago, you didn't see them. It was Rangers and Tritons, and that's about it. Skeeters. Well, they did a poll, and they said if you weren't sponsored and you had to buy a boat, what was the boat you were going to buy? And the poll was Bass Cat.
So Rick Pierce, Jack, Ricky, I am a Bass Cat man, and I am a proud era owner, and I'm representing the brand.
Hey, we'll have to do a show on fishing because there you go.
Fishing, faith, football, family fun.
All of it.
And now we're finished.
Life. There you go.
First down in life, baby.
First down in life.
Poor Todd, we didn't even let him talk.
We want to thank Brian Pickerel once again. He's sponsoring this show, and that is PICK, P-I-C-K, PICK Designs, Sports, Videography. So look him up. Make sure you do. Thank you, Brian, so much for the great job you do on our podcast. And really do appreciate Chad coming and being willing to share with us. Absolutely excellent. And I'll tell you, by listening to you, Chad, you are full of energy and excitement. And my hat's off to Hart County, the administration of Hart County, it appears to me they have landed. They have caught lightning in a bottle in Chad Griffin, and I look forward to seeing many more wins coming, and maybe not wins, not as important as success.
A success of the program.
And I think that he's went out of his way to explain that that's what's important to him. But obviously wins came also. But Chad, really do appreciate you coming, and wish you the very, very best this year.
I appreciate it.
Even during the off season, wish you the very, very best.
Well, I'll touch on one thing you just said, and I do believe this. You talked about winning. Winning is fine, but if first down in life, whatever you talk about, if you do the small things in life, you become a winner. So no different than football. If you do the small things in football, you become a winner. That's something we believe in. Just the little things make you a winner.
Plain things are the main things.
Yep.
Yes. Well, thanks everybody. We look forward to seeing you the next time. We've got another. Looking forward to having another excellent guest to come forward. So we'll be back with you quite soon.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you enjoyed the discussion and gained some valuable insights. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a rating and review. You're listening to First Down and Life.